Okay, so it's going to be one of the first videos. This is the old screen. It's one of the reasons I'm replacing it. You guys can see these holes. A lot of you guys have holes on yours just like this. The rest of our camper's not in too bad shape. Most of our screens are in good condition. I'm going to show you guys real quick the one that I did that I showed you guys pictures of. Once you get it done, have a screen like this. So it's pretty nice. I like it. Let's come over here. I'm going to show you guys how I cut this screen out. Alright, I can get my man to hold the video for me real quick, so I can show you guys what we're doing. Okay, the most important thing you guys are doing these screens, from what I notice when I'm doing these screens, is to try to keep as close to the frame as possible, because you want this shape. So what I did is I took a knife, as clean cut as I could. I'm going to start right here on the edge. But before I started, as you can see, make sure you zip that down so you don't accidentally cut your material. Try to stay on the edge as much as you can. Nice and slow and easy. I'm just trying to make sure I keep this shape of this screen, so when I go to make my little pattern on my new screen, I am literally as close as possible to the old one. Oh, gotta go nice and slow, nice and easy. Don't get in a hurry. Come up here, come down a little bit, and come back up. There we go. So cutting it out, not really the hard part. Just about anybody can do this. Everybody's looking at me thinking I can do that. So like I said, make sure you stay on the edge as much as you can, so you can keep that shape. This is how I did the other one. And we're going to come right here along the bottom. Just like that. We're going to pause the video here in a second, and I'm going to take this inside. We're going to show you guys how I make that pattern for this. Okay, so we are inside. I'm going to show you guys how I make a pattern, or how I make my new screen. Basically, I've got some new screen rolled out on the floor. I've got the one that I've cut out, laid out on top of it. And I'll show you what I'm about to use for anybody that is curious. This is just basic screen that I got from Walmart, 36 by 84. Doesn't have to be this type. It could be any type of screen that you guys want to use. It does not matter. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm laying out the old screen, top of the new screen. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to trace out with some chalk the shape of the screen, but I'm also going to trace out the extra part that I need to fold over and make the hem. So bear with me for a second. There we go. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take my chalk kind of make a little line. It's not working quite as well with this chalk as I thought it was going to be, but it is going to work. I'm going to make it work. If you have a better idea of how to mark your screen, go for it. Send some messages. This is just something I found, you know, around the house. I was trying to think of something white that would mark through. It's not going to leave a bunch of lines, so it's not permanently going to be on there. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a straight, solid white line. Just as long as you know where you're the shape of your screen. This is what I do with my other one. As you guys could probably see in my pictures. Worked out pretty good. Okay, so after we're going to trace that, we have to have room for our hem. We have to give ourselves a good amount of space. I'm going to say about 1 inch, maybe a little more. I always like to do a little extra, just in case. You don't want to do too much and then you can't fold it, you can't hem it, which defeats the whole purpose of trying to me, the hem is something sturdy that I can use to sew it in there. Just like that. And again, this is not exact, but as close as I can get it. Some people like a big hem, some people want a little hem. Just however you guys feel like doing it. Again, everybody does it their own way. This is just how I did it. I didn't have any videos. I was just sitting here one day, just like a lot of you, looking at my screen, thinking, gosh, can't stand these. Want some new screens. My canvas isn't that bad. My screens are looking bad. And I want some new screens. So I thought, what could I do? And I just got the idea. I don't know why or how. It kind of popped in my head. I probably went a little overboard on that one, but it's alright. Okay, so let's get us a good line over here. Now that I've got my little line, I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut this outer line all around here. I kind of like to keep this in here just to make sure I'm in shape. I'm going to go over and fold all around to make sure I have enough space on the sides. And we will get started on the hemming. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've got my outer side, all the trims cut off. Like I said, I got a little bit of around the whole entire thing. And I got what I'm going to show you guys, what I've been using. This is, it is a fabric, what's it called? Like a fabric sealer. I'm trying to think of what it's called. Okay, so I've got that all trim cut off. Now I'm going to show you guys how I fold and do my hems. What I went to do is I went to Walmart and got some of this Ultra Bond Ultra Heat. It's mainly for material. It's an iron-on adhesive, but I figured I'd just go ahead and try it. Shoot, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. So what I did is I got my little iron right here. And I know this is probably not the exact proper way, but like I said, this is my way. This is how I did it. So, this helps you guys out at all. That's awesome. So, I got my iron right here. Got my scissors. Got my heat stuff right here. Or my little fabric hold material right here. So, what I do is I'm going to lay a towel down underneath my material. Just because I'm not trying to iron my carpet. You don't have to be any certain type of towel. Nothing fancy. Just like that. Okay. Get all this out here in front of us right here. And take this. We're going to cut us a piece. Let's see if I can do this. Just like that. Just to get started. Nothing big. Nothing long. Okay. We're going to take this. And if you've ever used this before, it's an iron-on adhesive. We're basically going to take it and we're going to line it up right on that white line. Guys see that white line? Hopefully you can. Okay. We're going to put it right on there. We're going to iron it. We're going to press some heat on it. Okay. As soon as we get it to stay, we'll bring it out just a little bit. Like I said, a little extra, don't hurt nothing. As soon as we get it to stay, we're going to peel off the little white piece, and it's going to be like this clear, sticky stuff. We're going to fold over the screen, and we're going to iron it again. So, all right, here we go. Let's see how this works. Let me try this with one hand for a minute. Got my iron ready to go. All right. Push that out of the way a little bit. I'm just kind of setting my iron on here for a second. Has every one of these say, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It's like I said, this is just something I'm figuring out on my own, something I'm trying. Worked for me. Hope it works for you guys. Just kind of nice and slow. I'm going to pull it back. And I'm going to attempt to pull this up if I can. Yeah, there we go. We get the paper to come up. Come on. And you guys can hardly tell, but there's a little gloss of stickiness. We're going to take this. We're going to fold it over. Just like that. And we're going to take the iron, because that kind of wants to hold it right there. And I'm going to take my iron. I'm going to set it right where that was. And I'm not setting it there for long, but just kind of long enough to give it a little bit of a heat. I'm going to kind of do like I did when I had the tape on there. And I'm just going to kind of slide the iron over it. Just like that. And I always worry about it not sticking, so I always tend to do it again. But, it's kind of each their own. Like I said, this is how I'm doing it. I hope it helps any of you. I hope it works. First time I did this, it's kind of a headache. It didn't really want to stick all the way. But, as you guys can tell, something right there. Look, there we go. Right there. Already got a little bit of a hem going right there. All this is doubled up. And I can sew right through that. And I'm just going to keep going throughout the whole process for a little bit. So I decided I'm going to just kind of switch it up to the other side. Just because I'm right-handed and I kind of just wanted to get going in that motion. But, see, get my tape on here. Get my iron on here. Like I said, the first time I did this, it was kind of a headache. I felt like I couldn't get the tape to stick. I felt like I wasn't ironing it long enough. And I just kind of had to play around with it a little bit the first time I did it. And kind of realized sometimes just set it on there and just count a couple seconds. 1, 2, 3. And then kind of start moving it along. It doesn't take a lot of heat, but it does take heat to get it to stick on there. And then we're going to pull that up. So that way. See if we can get a little corner. There we go. Nice and clear. It's kind of hard to see, but that is nice. That is sticking really good. Just like that. And you could probably fold it and just sew it and make yourself a hem, but I wanted something adhesive. I didn't want to try sewing this in a sewing machine and then take it out there and sew it in, because I'm not using a sewing machine. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so over there. Unstick that a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to slide right down. Just keep going. And put this in here. Now you're thinking, what's she going to do now? Pull that out of your way. Pull your iron up here, just like that. Like I said, just leave it on there just a few seconds. Don't take long. Kind of slide it over. Let's see if we can get it to come off. Got it. Peel that back. I'm going to bring this up. And up right on top of there. Oh, come on. I'm going to iron this right in place. Oh, and it acts like it don't want to stay, so I'm just going to put the iron on there. Just kind of leave it for just a second or two. Like I said, not very long. Pull that up while we do that. Just give it that little bit of extra heat. And sometimes it's just going to feel stubborn and you're going to be like, man, this is just not working. Just stop, take a deep breath, grab you something to drink, you know, take a break for a second, and then come back and mess with it if it's just giving you a headache. First time I did it, like I said, it was such a headache, such a mess trying to figure something out. It's always like that when you try to do something for the very first time. It's always like that. Alright. And you can do long pieces if you want, but short pieces to me just seem to be easier. They work out better. I tried to do the long pieces when I did my first one, and it was kind of a headache, and I told myself to nope, just stop and slow down for a second, and don't be in a hurry. Come on. If it's not wanting to go, it did not get enough heat. But you can also try peeling it from the other side. Try coming from this way. It's like peeling a sticker. There we go. Nice and easy. Take it off. Alright, let's get it lined up. We are already almost done with this side. pull our little sticky off. Line this up. So if it got off just a little bit, ain't gonna hurt nothing though. Right there, just kind of straighten it right back out. No big deal. That's why I always said I gave myself a little extra room, just in case something happens or I feel like I could get off just a hair. And that I might have to come back and hit one more time. Stickiness right between there. I'm just gonna let it sit there for a second. I do have this set on a nylon setting. I didn't want nothing too strong. Kind of right about the middle of my old iron. My daughter brought me a little hair straightening tool. And she's like, Mom, try this hair straightening tool. I don't recommend it, guys. I do not recommend it. They get way too hot. Trying to hold this hair straightening thing in your hand while you're trying to do this. I do not recommend it. There we go. Oh yeah, we're almost done with this side. We're moving right along. Stick there. There we go, just like that. We only got just a little bit left to go. We'll have this whole side knocked out. And like I said, I never done this before. I just needed something that was thick and sturdy that I could hold on to, that I could sew into my sides without this, which is, you know, as you know, a little flimsy. Ooh, and it gets a little sticky in here. That's what kind of another reason why I put this towel down under my carpet. I don't want to get no stickiness on my this soft but very old carpet. Let's see, we have from here to here. So we're going to go ahead and do a long piece just to finish this right up on this side. And it kind of worries me. I don't like doing long pieces. I worry about not working. But we are going to do it. It's going to work. Get it in the spot. Okay. Hoping this comes off. Nope, it's not exactly hot enough. Let that sit for just a second. Let me see if it's ready on this side. Maybe. That's why I don't like doing long pieces. They seem to be more complicated. I should have did 2 short pieces. Come on. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright. Oh, pull that off there. Oh, yeah, let's get that out of there. I think that looks good. Okay, and we basically have one whole side of this done. Basically, I'm just going to repeat the process around all 4 sides until I have this on all 4 sides. I'll try to take some pictures. Once I get all 4 sides done like this, first thing I do before I even go outside, or actually, as I'm doing it, is I always keep bringing this back just to make sure I'm just lined up so that this will go in the window and this I have to sew. Once I get these other sides done, I'll get back with you guys and show you guys how I actually sew them into the pop-up camper without having to take the canvas down. I didn't want to take my canvas down. I figured the easiest way is fix them and replace them as I go.
You know how to do it, you want me to do it?
So this was my before. Like I was telling you guys, when you make that hem, just go all the way around it. And this is my after. And this is what somewhat what it should look like. And like I said, as soon as I get a chance, I will upload a video of me sewing them in there for anybody who has questions.